welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is the first video you watch. If you don't know me, this is Eleanor, and I've been living in France for the past 5 months now, teaching Italian at a bilingual school. If you're already a subscriber, I know I disappeared. I also deactivated Instagram for some time, but I was settling in the new country, I had things to figure out. I also graduated, by the way, so I had to finish my thesis and everything, but I might disappear sometime, but I'm back here and I'm planning to be active and to make many other videos, so don't disappear. I'm saying it to you now. Anyway, since I've been living in France now for several months and I've been teaching for several months, I think I've had the opportunity to see several sides of the French school system, and I definitely had some cultural shocks as an Italian. I'm mostly talking about my experience as a student in Italy, because when I was in Italy I never had the chance to teach in a public school. I mostly taught in private school, and I was teaching Italian to foreigners, so I didn't have the experience as a teacher in Italy. But I definitely had shocks as a student. If I compare it to my experience as a student, there were things that left me like, oh, okay, wow, this is crazy. And I want to talk to you about it. I have a list here because there are several things actually. And I have to say, first of all, that my school is very peculiar because it's in the mountains, first of all, and it's a bilingual school because it's at the borders with Italy. So some things are for sure specific to my school, but in this moment I will focus on things that are general, I think, for the whole of France. Maybe at the end or in another video we'll talk about specific shocks that I had with my particular school. But anyway, the first thing that shocked me as an Italian is the school calendar. There are so many holidays. Basically, coming from Italy, in Italy there are basically 9 months of school and then 3 months of summer holidays, which is also weird, to be honest, because yeah, I mean, I grew up with that, so for me it's normal, but at the same time 9 months and then 3 months of holidays, crazy. But yeah, we don't have any really big holidays. We just have 10 days, 2 weeks of Christmas holidays, and that's the biggest one, and then 4 days during Easter, and then there are some days maybe for the saint that is the protector of the city, so it's different days for every city. But yeah, we just have Christmas holidays and then summer holidays and 9 months of school, and we go crazy, honestly. We kind of go crazy. In France, they have every 6 weeks of school, there are 2 weeks of holidays. So far I've had 2 weeks of holidays at the end of October, 2 weeks for Christmas, 2 weeks in February. Right now I'm on holidays. And there will be other 2 weeks in April, and then from April to the end of June there will be no holidays. But still there are 4 big pauses, and I think that's very, very, very helpful, both for the kids and for the teachers, because you need some time to recharge sometimes. So the fact that they have so many holidays, honestly, not bad. Another thing that shocked me is the actual school schedule. I think it's like this in every part of France. Basically, school starts around 9 and it ends at 4:30 in the afternoon. So it's a long day, but they do not go to school on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. In Italy, we go to schools I don't go to school anymore, but in Italy I used to go to school from Monday to Saturday. So Saturday is a school day. We never had any Saturdays off. There are some schools in Italy, especially lately, in the last years, that have the Saturdays off, but me, I've always gone to school on Saturdays. But we finished 1 p.m. for primary school and around 2 for high school. So the school day was shorter, but at the same time we went to school on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. And another thing that shocked me is exactly the Wednesdays off, because why the fuck would you not go to school on Wednesdays? But it actually has a meaning, and it's connected to another thing that shocked me of the French school, but it shocked me in positive, which is I don't even know how to translate it in English, but the laïcité, which means that the school and the religion are two separate things and they do not collide. They try to keep it very separate. So basically the Wednesdays off have been off for some time because they tried to leave a day off for religious education, that the school was not gonna talk about religion, so they left a day so that if the families wanted to give a religious education to the kids, they could have done it outside the school. So this is why they have Wednesdays off, and I guess it just remained. And the fact that the school and the religion are two separate things, it's honestly such a good thing, and as an Italian, I would love it. I would have loved it. But in Italy, there are still laws that come from old agreements that Mussolini had with the Vatican State, where basically there's 1 hour of religion, of Catholic religion, every week in school. We have crucifix everywhere, in every classroom, and like, honestly, in Italy in general, it's a problem that the state and the religion are not separate. Like, religion is in any single state aspect, and I really don't like it. So I would love if Italy had some laicite too. But yeah, I think it's very, very good that kids do not grow up thinking that there's one and only religion that they should follow, and that they realize that the school and the state are separate. So this is definitely a thing that shocked me, and that I really appreciate of France, and that I hope they implement in Italy too. Anyway, another thing that was kind of weird for me is that in theory, you're not supposed as a teacher to give homeworks to the kids that are like written homeworks. Actually, like, the teacher that I work with, like, I'm a teacher assistant, so I do not give, like, I give Italian homeworks, but I do not give homeworks for other things. So the teacher that works with me, she kind of still gives written homeworks, but apparently you're not supposed to do it. And in general, you're not supposed to give many homeworks to the kids. While in Italy, honestly, it was crazy. We had so many homeworks every day, especially written homeworks. So that's good for the kids, I guess. Another thing, which is also a positive thing, I believe, is that the kids do not have to buy the books. It's the school that buys the book and they give it to the kids, and then they just use it every year. While in Italy, you have to buy the books. Like, the families have to buy the books, and there are some like discounts based on family money and everything, I believe. But in general, it's the kid that has to buy the books, but the book is yours. At the same time, like, I like to have my own books, and I like to be able to write on the book. I think it would have been weird to just not be able to write on the book, because I would have had to return it. And also I think it slows down the learning, because like, if you have an exercise on the book and you cannot write directly on the book, like, you have to waste time to like write everything again on your notebook, so it's just not fast. So I honestly liked to have my book, but at the same time, it's good that the schools don't make kids pay for them. So I don't know, pros and cons, I guess. Another thing is that sport is mandatory. I think that this is like a new law or something, but basically now there is half an hour of mandatory sport every day, while in Italy we just had like 1 hour or 2 hours, I don't remember, of like sport in the week. But in France they have like half an hour of mandatory sport every day, and it's also a good thing, probably. Yeah, it is. Another thing that shocked me, this was really a shock. I think this is a cultural shock in general, not just related to schools. It's the fact that in general, French people are more easygoing, I believe, and they're not so, I don't know how to explain this. Like for example, in Italy, if there is a school trip, every parent has to sign up a certificate saying, I allow my kid to go to the school trip. And this is to be done for every single school trip. While in France, they just like make you sign at the beginning of the year something saying that you allow the school to take the kids to school trips and stuff. And then no one gives a damn anymore. Like you can do whatever with the kids and the parents do not have to know. While in Italy, like it would be very weird to just take the kids on a school trip without letting the parents know. So yeah, I believe in France they're just generally more easygoing. And also, this is probably something that happens more in small schools in the mountains, in the countryside, and in rural areas. But like the kids go at home alone. Like from 6 years old, the school is allowed to just leave the kid go at home, and they do not have to wait for parents to come and pick them up. Which is super weird for me as an Italian, because I believe Italian parents, they're very suffocating sometimes, but they do not leave you all this freedom. And I believe it's also good. I believe it's very important for kids to develop a sense of independence and freedom since a young age. So it's actually not a bad thing that they have freedom. But also it's also super weird for me, because even if I wouldn't want to be so anxious, I still am, because I grew up like that. So yeah, it just gives me anxiety to know that a kid at 6 years old is going home alone. But yeah, I guess I just have to accept it. Another thing that kind of shocked me is like the relationship that there is between kids and teachers. I teach in a primary school, by the way. I don't know if I told you. So yeah, I teach to kids till 10 years old. And they're like very close to the teachers, and there isn't... I mean, of course, there's a distance because there's teachers and students, but like in Italy, like the teacher is here and the student is here. Like there's a huge gap, and you can feel the distance. And you actually feel very inferior as a student. Like you know that there's a hierarchy. This is the word, I don't know. Like you know where your place is, and you know that you cannot talk to a teacher in a certain way. There's a huge distance between teachers and students. While in France, I was shocked the first days because the kids would just come to me and hug me, and I was like, what are you doing? Oh my god, like I was looking at them and like, oh my god, are you hugging me? Like is it allowed? Do I have to like tell you to go away from me, or like is it allowed in France for you to just come and hug the teacher? Oh my god. Like I also kind of have some problems with physical contacts from strangers, so for me it was very, very like I think that was the worst shock at the beginning, because like the kids just came to hug me, and I honestly did not know what to do, also because like you don't want to just look like this at a kid who's hugging you, because like you wouldn't want the kid to feel bad about it, but at the same time I was like, what, like this is not, like I'm so not used to it, what is happening? So yeah, that was very, very weird for me. But yeah, I guess it's just French culture, and now I'm used to it. If a kid comes and hugs me, I try to hug back, but I'm not a hugger. It's just not, I did not grow up like this. You could not hug teachers. Like if you hug an Italian teacher, or at least the teachers of my generation, I don't know if now it's different and you can hug the teachers, but if you try to hug a teacher of my generation, they would have been like, you will be expelled right now from the school, and I'm calling your parents. So yeah. So yeah, that was weird for me. Okay, I think I said all my cultural shocks, and then there are some shocks that are specific to my school, but I think I will talk about it in another video where I will specifically talk about how it is to teach in a bilingual school at the borders with Italy in the mountains, because it's honestly super weird. But those were the shocks about things that I think are common in every part of France. If you're French, if you went to school in France and you have other things that you think might sound weird to me, or if you're Italian and you think I forgot to mention something, let me know. See you in the next video. I swear I'm not going to disappear now. I'm back and active on YouTube and Instagram, so subscribe to the channel, follow me if you want, and see you to the next video. Bye!